Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Global Speedrun Association. We have got some any percent league qualifiers coming your way. The second of many to be had. This one between TYRN and GoldenLily. This is sure to be a pretty interesting matchup. Joining me on the mic today, I have Ganon Slayer. Ganon Slayer, what's going on?
Oh yeah, not much, dude. How are you feeling about this race?
Feeling very excited to see. This is an interesting matchup. Both of these players have quite the history. So GoldenLily did go by the pseudonym Negold K. Back in the day, was a very strong contender, a top 10 holder in any percent in the early days of Super Mario Odyssey. Has had a bit of a revival recently and has been practicing behind the scenes. So the fact that they are trying to qualify for this upcoming league is a sight to behold, kind of a revival, if you will. TYRN, on the other hand, has made quite the name for himself recently as a Super Mario Odyssey runner. Of course, has held the world record for exactly one day, sometime last month,
Yeah.
before it was snatched away rudely by Chaos Pringle. But that just goes to show that he is probably at the peak of his performance nowadays. So, of course, a force to be reckoned with here.
Yes, of course. Tyrone is pretty insane at the game. Like he's demonstrated so much skill. Not that consistent though from what I've seen. So, there's still a chance for Golden Lily to be in this race. Like Tyrone definitely has the better PB, but he might not have the consistency required to get an auto win.
Yes, that is true. Of course, with playing at such an optimal level, you do kind of expect to see a lot of resets in your PB attempts that you're doing on your own time. So it'll be interesting to see if Tyrone can kind of switch the gears, turn it around, and come out with the win here. So we shall see. But then again, the other side, GoldenLily, we don't really know exactly what their performance is looking like. We haven't seen a PB posted from them as of recently. So honestly, this could go either way.
Yeah, really. I'm excited. All right, so we are starting up in the Cap Kingdom. Gonna be starting with rolling over to the Top Hat Tower. Not too many hard strats in Cap, but there is a lot of really optimized movement throughout the kingdom.
Yes, and speaking of that optimized movement, it'd be interesting to see if Tyrone kind of lays back a little bit and tries to play it a little bit safer to avoid having a kind of quote unquote reset situation. But he is one of the few who has indeed gotten a 2:17 cap exit time. So it'll be interesting to
Ooh.
see if he's able to get that in a race, perhaps.
Yeah, that would be cool to see. All right, so starting up here with some rolls, we see Tyrone buffering that spin pound. Lily actually doing the same. Ooh, Tyrone messing up the movement actually.
And it looks like that was all it took for GoldenLily to make the comeback here. I think GoldenLily probably got the spin pound buffer and Tyrone didn't. Actually, neither of them did, so they're going to be rolling across the bridge just the same. But this has come down to a tie. Tyrone getting a little bit more of an optimal roll off the railing there, you can see.
Yep. Alright, so Tyrone with definitely the more optimal movement to the frog there. Now we see both of them making their way up through the Top Hat Tower, doing the frog vectors. Tyrone actually doing the Stravos frog room strat, slightly more optimal than what Lily did there.
Yes, going up the right side means that you can kind of vector your initial jumps all the way up, as well as the ones on the approach. So a little bit faster. You are seeing that Tyrone is making up just small amounts of time as a result of this.
Yep. Both runners nailed left side as well. Ooh. Messing up the fast topper second phase on Lily's side there. So it looks like Tyrone is out to a small lead here out of the Cap Kingdom. It's like a 2:19, which is pretty impressive considering that mistake there before he entered the tower.
Yeah, amazing levels of optimization. And, you know, it's funny watching Tyrone do his PB attempts. If he gets anything worse than like a 220, he usually just hits the reset button in Cap Kingdom. But, you know, in a race, there is no reset button. You just kind of have to keep going. So even with that minor mistake, still sub 220 and on the way
Yep.
to Cascade.
Alright, so start on Cascade now. making his way over to this chain chomp. Do a spin through roll cancel to capture it. Lily actually taking a bonk on the movement over, and another bonk. That's
Just
unfortunate.
getting absolutely bullied by the geometry in this game, as it turns out that the hitboxes in some of these shapes tend to extend a little bit further than they appear to. So taking a stupid bonk on the edge there. Now, if you are familiar with the league action of last season, you're going to be noticing something a little bit different in Cascade Kingdom here. They're actually grabbing the first moon. Now, the rules of the first season kind of stated that we were playing on 1.0 as it was the optimal version. And it just so happened that 1.3 came out right as we were coming to a close last season. The 1.3 is the optimal version for this game now. And the reason for that is that it is overclocked on its loads. So we do lose the ability to do some certain tricks. Obviously, the first moon skip, you can see, did get that first moon. Also, the Sphinx clip that we'll see in Sand and the Turnip clip that we'll see in Luncheon, those are also not possible on 1.3, but this is still the faster version simply because of the loads.
Yeah, it's kind of insane how much faster the loads are. Like, you would think even if the loads are faster, it would still be optimal to do all of these tricks that save so much time, but it just isn't. I think the loads saved a total of like 52 over 1.0. Whereas the tricks save something around 50-ish.
Yeah,
So,
depending on the level of optimization, it was somewhere in the ballpark of like 45 to 50 seconds, that's right. So playing on the digital 1.3 patch just so happens to be faster than doing all of those tricks, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and also, kind of glossed over, but TYRN did mess up in the damn brute fight a little bit there. Trying to do the fast hit, but the chain chomp just not going back into Madame Brute's face. So that's gonna be like a second of time loss for him. Nothing major, but still he's messing up a lot of minor things right now.
But still holding on a pretty solid lead coming out of this early game. We're about 5 minutes in, and he's already got about 5 seconds of advantage over Golden Lily here. Now, of course, as we say that, he's trying to get into this little alcove, having a little bit of difficulty getting all the way down there, but it does look like a pretty clean chest clip.
Yep.
And he is going to be grabbing that. Meanwhile, Lily is instead grabbing the moon atop a tall cliff. The safer version of kind of getting out of Cascade Kingdom does lose about half of a second to doing the fast chest clip, but definitely going to be making some time over TYRN due to his mistakes in Cascade.
Yeah, looking like a 534 or 33 on TYRN's side. Yeah, 534, and I think it was like a 542 for Lily. So I think that's like 8 seconds. Or yeah, 542. Okay, so yeah, 8 seconds of difference out of the Cascade Kingdom. And we are coming into Sand, which will have daylight savings time abuse if you want to do a little bit of explanation on that.
You bet I do. So, the whole reason they went into their Switch settings at the very beginning of the race and changed their clock is for this reason coming up here. So, there are seeds in this game. If you plant the seed in a pot, it takes 20 real-time minutes to grow the seed. It was discovered recently that if you change your Switch clock forward after planting a seed, the seed will just magically begin growing. So, what we can do instead of just going into the Switch menu manually and changing the time after we've planted the seed, we can actually use the daylight savings time manipulation, which basically means setting our Switch clock and date to a specific point in time. They're going to plant the seed, and then they're going to have the daylight savings time essentially tick over sometime during this period while they're gathering some moons and going into this little sub area. And then when they come back out of the sub area, the seed will have grown by itself instantaneously.
Yeah. And it's actually really cool that the sub area was already in the route, because the sub area makes the seed grow instantly if the daylight savings time has already started. When you exit the sub area, you're going to see TYRN going to be doing that first, going to be going down here, and the seed will have grown already. Having a little bit of issues grabbing the moon, but still, this route is extremely fast.
Yes, and going into the sub area is what does make this route quite a bit faster than it is. Otherwise, you would have to sit there and wait for the seed to grow. It does take about 10 to 15 seconds for that to happen. So going into the sub area kind of skips that animation entirely. So that's part of the reason why this trick is not useful for categories like World Peace, because going into that sub area was already actually too slow to begin with. So.
Okay. So you see TYRN having a bit of issues with the Doom in there, getting it on his second try though. Lily, however, nailing that first try. Very nice. Okay, so TYRN is now coming up on the archway with the very optimal roll cancel movement there. Very stylish. And we are going to see him set up for Dramstrat here. And I'm interested to see. It looks like he is going for the traditional way, not the ice dram. So I wonder if he's going to be going for single bill in races. I want to see this. Looks like he is setting up for that, actually.
Certainly doesn't hurt to try. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to get it here, though. The crate is going to be in his way, so he's going to have to just instead go for the single bill strategies. Or, sorry, the double bill strategies here. Golden Lily, on the other hand, does appear to be having a little bit of trouble. Didn't look like they got the dram strat there. Had to kind of back it up a little bit, and they're just going to have to take kind of the next bullet bill cycle.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
That's a bummer. But yeah, it's actually really annoying to miss dram if you don't know how to bullet bill manip, because you have to wait for that launcher to spawn a new bullet bill, and it takes way more time than it should.
Yes, certainly. If you haven't manipulated the bullet bill in any way, then yes, you do have to wait for another one, and it takes literally millions of years. So
Literally.
literally, yes.
Yeah. Alright. So we see TYRN here coming up on Jaxie skip now. Nailing that. Very solid. Now making his way over to the Cactus Moon, and then gonna be finishing up any percent with, or not any percent, finishing up sand in the Oasis with 2 more moons.
Yes. TYRN is actually so good at the game that it just immediately finishes once he's done with the Sand Kingdom, leaving Golden Lily in the dust. But no, all jokes aside, just a couple more moons to get in the Sand Kingdom. He's going to be going for this one in the Dune. No bird cycle to worry about here with this new DSTA routing, which is obviously a good thing. It's always kind of nice to not have to worry about them at all. Yep. And just grabbing this one last moon, and he is on his way.
Yep. TYRN nailing that notes moon with 1 spin throw as well. Very optimal. See if Lily can do the same here. Ooh, missing that note, having to go back for it. Still grabbing the notes moon in time. So yeah, as TYRN is now exiting the Sand Kingdom, Lily is warping to the Odyssey. Looks like TYRN's actually exiting on a pretty solid pace here. Looks like a 10:28. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty happy with this exit, for sure. A couple of spaghetti mistakes in Cascade and Cap and Sand, but really very, very minor things. Don't have to worry about it. Very much still on extremely solid pace and a very commanding lead over Golden Lily going into Lake Kingdom.
Yep. Speaking of Lake Kingdom, we are going to be seeing one of the harder tricks in the any percent route, still in this kingdom, called Lake Clip. Now, Lake Clip saves a lot of time, and it saves even more time on 1.3 because of loads. So it just made the trick even more worth going for. And I assume TYRN will be going for it in this race, considering the fact that he goes for it in all of his runs. And from what I've seen, he is pretty consistent at it, but you know, the race nerves might affect that a bit.
Yeah, we will have to see. He's going to be grabbing this moon and setting up for it right now. There were very few people who actually didn't go for the lake clip during the last league. Oh, he's getting a fake clip here, actually. Going to be resetting it up. Not really getting the motion controls that he's looking for here, but he is setting up for the lake clip just fine, and he is going to get it on the second try. Interesting fake clip from TYRN there. Now see if Golden Lily goes for it as well. And again, very much a mystery, Golden Lily. We don't really know exactly what they've been up to, but it does look like, oh, with this very fast setup. Oh, never mind. Resetting it up again. Not opting for any wall slide setups here, which is very interesting.
But they are getting it. Very nice. Alright. Nailing the lake clip. Now going to be warping back up to grab a chest moon, and then going down to the cheap moon, like you saw TYRN do right there.
So TYRN did get a fake clip, but Lily's setup was just a little bit slower as well, so not really gaining or losing any time over TYRN here, excuse me. And actually going for the ground pound into collecting that moon and then grabbing the cheap afterwards, very interesting strategy. I've never seen quite like that. Not opting for any down throw strategies, which is pretty common with this late clip route.
Yep. Alright, so both runners having pretty decent lakes though overall. Like there's certainly no like giant spaghetti moments during that. Looks like TYRN will be exiting with around a 13:22 if I saw the globe time correctly, while Lily makes her way into the plaza here to grab this one last moon, then warp back to the Odyssey to head off to the Wooded Kingdom.
Yeah, looks like a high 21 from TYRN. So very solid pacing still here from TYRN. Lily's going to be globing at about 31. So we're looking at a difference of about 30 seconds between the two of them as they go into Wooded Kingdom.
Yep. Now, Wooded is going to be pretty interesting. There's a lot of big tricks, a lot of high-risk strats as well. They can lose you a lot of time if they mess up, most specifically Nut Clip. If you miss Nut Clip, you're pretty much losing 30 seconds. So, if TYRN were to mess that up and Lily nails it, then that could bring the race back way closer. TYRN actually missing the bunny right now. That's pretty uncommon for him, actually.
Missing the bunny and a little bit of rock shenanigans as well.
Yeah, alright. That's... How much time was that? Probably like 5 seconds, 6 seconds. That's pretty weird. Don't normally see that. You see Lily actually nailing that very nicely. So that is a little bit of time saver right there. Is TYRN actually going for tree route here?
Yeah, TYRN taking the fastest, most optimal tree route strategy here. Taking this little up route up the top of this tree means that as he progresses through Wood Kingdom, there is a story moon kind of hidden behind a piranha plant that you have to kill. He's going to avoid that entirely and just continue on with the stage. Now, the only reason that this route works is because we don't have to do Speart anymore. Speart used to be kind of tied behind that story moon, but if we don't do Speart, we also don't have to get that story moon either, which makes this route a little bit more optimal. And the reason that we do these kinds of things is that for an hour-long run, we only play the game for somewhere in the ballpark of like 28 minutes, 29 minutes. So
Yep.
the more time we can take out of having to sit through cutscenes, the more time that we can optimize the game. Oh my goodness, Lily is scaring me right now. Standing on the edge. Oh, and had his clip back, but it's okay. They're on the platform. They're trying again. They've got their setup.
Oh, too far
Misses
left.
the moon and takes a bonk.
No, oh, no.
The best thing that you can do is dive in this direction. Hopefully you die instead of going to the deep woods, and that is what happens here. Wow. So Lily is going to be going back to the shop now, and is going to have to try and back this up with the more traditional route of Wooded Kingdom. But this is a tragic time loss for Lily.
That's really unfortunate there. That's probably around a minute. Alright, TYRN having some weird issues here as well, though. Not really sure what's going on with him. Got a lot of spaghetti in this Wooded Kingdom so far. Making his... Oh.
Very likely that the nerves are kind of setting in for both of these runners.
Rock Clip?
Lily's going for Rock Clip in a race. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
and gets it on the second try?
What?
You have to be kidding me.
You have to be joking. There's no way. There's no way. What?
And misses the moon again. And takes a bonk again.
No. What?
Lily's gonna be diving back into the death plane and trying again. Hopefully they don't go for this Rock Clip. They need to be doing something consistent. TYRN, I don't know, did some sort of roll cancel clip. What is happening in this race right now? I have no clue
what's going on. These Woodeds are so weird.
Luckily, TYRN did get the checkpoint there, so he is going to be able to set up for a triple jump here. Very solid backup to do the skip.
Okay, I gotta calm down a bit. Gotta calm down. I'm really riled up right now. It looks like Lily is going for the Rock Clip again.
Honestly, very amazing that the Rock Clip was able to happen in 2 tries. It is notably harder on 1.3, and honestly, when it gets to this point, you should probably consider just going for the older route.
Yeah. I think the fact that they're even going for this is like, that's just respectable. It's such a hard trick on 1.3. On 1.0, it wasn't too hard. Oh, getting it again! I'm actually surprised how fast they're getting this clip. Meanwhile, Tyrone doing the spiritless movement. You were talking about how we can skip spirit now.
Oh, and Lily is giving me a scare again.
Oh,
Did
there we
grab
go.
this moon.
They were too far left on all of their previous wall jumps.
But finally making their way through the stage and up and over. So they're actually going to be able to avoid having to do the beginner route for Wooded Kingdom, but obviously losing an extremely substantial amount of time. This 18-minute mark is kind of approaching here, and at world record pace, we would already be leaving the Wooded Kingdom, but Lily is only halfway through at this point, so obviously losing a lot of time. Meanwhile, Tyrone has just finished up with his pipeway, and he's going to be making his way on to the next kingdom now, warping to the Odyssey, and he's going to be globing, finishing up Wooded Kingdom at a 1903-ish.
Yeah, that's still really respectable. Like, that's probably around 40 seconds behind what, like, a world record pace run would be getting, like 40 or 50, so this is still, like, 100 possibility for Tyrone here. Meanwhile, Lily making their way over to the Piranha Plant Moon. The fact that they got rock clipped twice in that short amount of time is still kind of mind-boggling to me.
Yep, phenomenal stuff, considering that big mistake happened with Tyrone. I don't know if it was like a roll cancel that they just did off of the edge and didn't work out in their favor or something, but yeah, that one death. Still Tyrone with the commanding lead, though. We've got Lily going for this very fancy roll cancel strategy to get up to that moon here.
Yep, making their way down to the tower. Meanwhile, Tyrone's doing his Bowser manipulation here. Trying to make Bowser jump the minimal amount of spaces in these middle sections, and trying to grab the hats in the fastest way possible. Very nice cloud from Tyrone so far.
Yeah, your standard run-of-the-mill cloud situation here. Obviously looking to grab those hats as soon as they become available by doing a backflip over the top of them, throwing Cappy at the optimal time. So no problems from Tyrone in the Cloud Kingdom.
Yep.
Moving on just fine.
Looks like Lily is fighting Spirit right now. So not opting to go for the Spiritless route. Just setting up for that last hit while Tyrone enters the Lost Kingdom.
And now I'm kind of excited and nervous to see exactly how the rest of this run is going to go. We're only 20 minutes in. We still have 2/3 of this run left to go, and we've already seen some pretty major spaghetti. Tyrone very, very barely making that dive. Looked like he might have just bonked there, but he's actually going to be going just fine.
Yep, making his way over to this Butterfly Moon. Now going to be doing... okay, just opting for a long jump there. Just think he might be going for some spin pound roll cancel shenanigans that I've seen some other runners go for. Making his way over to the other propeller. And it's funny how fast the moons go in Lost. Like, including the before and after cutscenes, this kingdom is only around 2 minutes long, and you grab 10 moons in the span of 2 minutes. It's a very compact kingdom, so you're able to move through it very quickly.
And a kingdom with no real story elements too, I think that kind of helps the cause of the kingdom. Of course, there is one kind of major story element, but we skip it entirely by going around the backside of the kingdom and activating the trigger and avoiding Klepto altogether.
Yep.
That whole cutscene and having to go get Cappy back does waste about 40 seconds, but it has been known since the very early parts of the game that we were able to just kind of bypass that zone and not have to worry about Klepto at all. So
Ooh, Tyrone scaring me with that that dive into the last moon. Okay, taking a death there. It'll be wasting around 2 or 3 seconds with this cutscene back to the Odyssey.
not a huge deal.
Yeah, not the worst thing in the world.
Now, if he had dove past the moon and not grabbed it at all before taking that death warp, we'd be talking about something much worse. But as long as you grab that moon, it doesn't matter if you get out from under the bridge or not. You're not going to be losing too much time. So, Lost Kingdom already done for TYRN. Golden Lily is halfway through Cloud Kingdom here. We just have one more phase to go, if I'm remembering correctly. Yes, that's right. TYRN, meanwhile, on his way into Night Metro.
Yep. Alright. So, Night Metro is kind of infamous because of the Mecha Wiggler fight at the end. This Mecha Wiggler fight is like the main instance of RNG throughout the entire game. For any percent, anyways. There's the first phase, which is always the same, but then the second phase, there's a randomly generated pattern. And you have to be able to deal with that pattern, because if you're not, then you could be losing up to like 25-30 seconds to having to go through a third cycle.
Exactly. The goal of this fight is to finish the second phase by killing the Wiggler in that second phase and not doing a third phase. TYRN missing a jump there, but able to recover quite well. Getting a bit of a value dive there. Oh, and a bonk.
Man. And Lily dying in Lost as well. Lots of spaghetti on the screen at once again. Alright.
I'm not sure where Lily died. It must have been like at Meme Tree or something like that, because they're just starting up Lost Kingdom here by the looks of it.
Yep. This has been a really interesting race so far. Oh, TYRN with a Goomba on the platform. Scaring me a bit there. These Goombas can be really annoying. You can take damage to them, miss cycles to them. You can get Cappy stuck under the platform where the Goombas are, and then you won't be able to even like progress. It's weird. The whole City Hall interior has a lot of stuff going for it.
And falling at any point is going to be losing you a lot of time as well, so you have to be very careful in this particular area.
Yep. Alright. So now we are seeing TYRN here go into the Mecha Wiggler fight. Now here's what I was talking about earlier. So he is nailing those 3 fast shots on the first phase. So that's very nice. But like I said, the second phase is where the RNG elements come in. Here you can't really be super prepared. So it looks like Lily is getting the Stone Cage Moon and through Cappy at... Okay, so they are just opting to go the Stone Cage Moon and not bother with the Cage Triple. Looked like they were going for it, but decided against it last second.
It can be smart to do the consistent thing. If you're kind of scared of a strat or you haven't done it in a while, probably best to just take it easy.
TYRN with that weird pattern there. The Wiggler is looping multiple times, but still managing to get a 2-cycle there. Looked like the Wiggler kind of straightened out for him to get good enough shots on it. Finishing out Night Metro as Lily is entering it right now.
Golden Lily going to be joining him in Night Metro. Now, TYRN had a lot of spaghetti in Night Metro, so it is very possible for Golden Lily to make up some time here with a clean execution of this kingdom.
Yep.
But as it stands, we are looking at about a distance of like 3 minutes between the two as of this moment.
Yeah. So, we are seeing TYRN going into Day Metro next. Now, Day Metro has a pretty difficult trick near the very beginning, Scooter Clip, and I'm interested to see if TYRN will be going for the drive-by strategy or opting to do a more safe version for the race. I mean, I think he might see that he's been messing up a little bit, so he might play it a little safer, but you never know. Starting off with the Metrogram, though, now approaching the Scooter Clip. Rolling straight onto the scooter, trying to clip into this box. Okay, so he is doing the fence bonk there. So playing it a little safer, doing a consistent setup, and in my opinion, that is a very good choice for a race setting.
Certainly.
Alright. So Golden Lily now entering the City Hall interior. Looking to nail this. Catching the elevator cycle. Odyssey has to make her way up the tower. Just doing a ton of back-to-back wall jumps. Alright. Now she's gonna make her way over to the Mech Wiggler fight now. while TYRN is going over to the musicians. So, oh no, he's doing bullet building. Okay, so TYRN opting for bullet building here. Getting the slots move first try, very nice. All right. So we're gonna have two things going on here. We're gonna have Lily's second phase wiggler and TYRN doing bullet building. Let's see how this goes here. Oh, actually messing up. This is actually really bad. So he is not gonna be able to make the cycle for the sub area. He's gonna have to just do a backup. Yeah, looks like he's just gonna be taking the poles all the way over. Meanwhile, Lily doing the second phase right now. Very nice, actually. Nailing all those shots pretty much perfectly. So TYRN did lose quite a bit of time to that bullet building there. So yeah, TYRN now in the upper section of Day Metro, while Lily is just entering Day Metro as I speak. Alright. So we see TYRN here doing the acrid climb. Ooh, taking a bonk. TYRN just having some inconsistency issues right now. Still looks like he's set up to do a spin pound here. Yeah, getting the spin pound off the top at least. Getting that hin art from the pool. So yeah, now TYRN in the people's room. Lily nailing scoot clip with the cage bonk, very nice. So neither runner having any issues with the scoot clip. All right. So TYRN now finishing up Metro as Lily makes her way over to the bench moon.
Yes, TYRN finishing up Metro Kingdom, warping to the Odyssey, and globing at 30-21. So we're looking at a 30-41, maybe 42 exit for this Metro Kingdom. So still on very solid, maybe high 100/low 101 pace as of this moment.
Yeah, looking like a low 101 unless he plays like out of his mind for the rest of the game. Well, 30-42 actually, yeah, that could be a 100. I thought it was like a 30-52. I read the globe time wrong. But either way, Lily talking to the drummer, TYRN going into Snow Kingdom.
And Snow Kingdom is notorious for, being the bane of a lot of runners' existences, namely because of the snow dram trick at the end of it.
Yeah, Snow also has a lot of tight hallways that are really easy to bonk in. Like, there's just so many places you can bonk so easily in the Shibuya interior. It's just there's so many opportunities to lose small amounts of time, and if you keep losing small amounts of time, eventually it's gonna add up to quite a lot. So yeah, not the most fun kingdom.
But TYRN, one of the best in the world at this kingdom. Of course, now that I've said that, Commentators curse coming in strong.
Yeah, like, it happened during the middle of your sentence. You didn't even have to finish the sentence for the game to know what was going on. Alright. So you see here, getting this first moon in Shibuya above the boxes. Now make his way over to the umbrella to get up to the chest moon.
And we'll see if TYRN is going to be going for any moon clip shenanigans here. So after he's gotten this chest moon, coming around the corner there, not getting the spin pound he wanted there probably, but he is going to be setting up for a spin pound and a backflip.
Ooh, that looks good.
And he's very, very far in the wall.
Yeah, getting that clip with no issues, just diving straight into the loading zone.
He's got to be pretty happy about that. Lily still trailing behind in Day Metro Kingdom still. Getting this Cafe Moon and then zipping on down. Getting the nice little bonk off of the cafe visitor there and into the people's room.
Yep. Very nice. You see TYRN here leaving one of the spawnies alive, then doing a roll cancel jump and diving. Basically, the purpose of leaving the spawnie alive is to make the camera pan less after you kill all of the spawnies, and you're also able to get way closer to the moon during the cutscene. So, yeah, leaving one of the spawnies alive to kill is actually more optimal, even though it might not seem like it at first.
Yes, does require some fancy movement. That roll cancel jump is very important to make that work as well, but TYRN, of course, one of the best and has no problem with that at all. Into this Goomba room now. This RNG is looking to be kind of decent. You're going to see this first Goomba run up against the edge there, which might be a little bit slow, but otherwise getting it here just in time.
Yep. We're going to see him attempt a roll cancel triple jump across the rest of this sub area. Very nice, doing his vectors, making that by quite a lot, not having any issues in the Goomba room, very solid. And now he is going to be approaching the Snowdram strategy that you were talking about earlier. He's going to be grabbing one more moon from the shop, then warping back to the Odyssey, and attempting to jump up to the snow painting platform earlier than intended.
Yes, this moon is not supposed to be available to us until we've reached the post game, because it is only available via a warp painting that you travel through from a different kingdom. But by doing this very, very precise and kind of technical jump, we're able to reach this platform as early as we want. So that is what we're going to see TYRN do here. He's going to be going for this initial setup. Very quick on his setup there. He's going to get involved.
Doing a little bit of a cap bounce vector, making that very nice. Looking like a really solid snow from TYRN overall. There was that little hiccup before he entered the Shiveria town, but other than that, it's okay. Oh, okay, never mind. A little bit of spaghetti during the globe there, but you know, it's gotta happen at least once.
Lily, meanwhile, is having a very, very solid snow.
Yes.
Coming through the corridor. We'll see if she goes for the for this moon clip as well. Setting up for it, but it doesn't look like there was the distance required to get into the wall. Yeah. So actually going to be coming down and into this hallway here. That's not such a big deal. If this were a category that did utilize going into Bound Bowl, then we would be looking at some problems, but luckily you can just kind of jump into the hallway and not worry.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a ground pound on that. That looks way more consistent and easy. I might try that. I've never seen a ground pound on that stair before. That's a cool strat. Wow. All right. Ooh, barely making it onto that platform after diving out of the Taifu as well.
But yeah, very solid Snow Kingdom from GoldenLily, and yeah, showing off some strategies that are maybe not quite mainstream. Usually you're trying to go for a triple jump off of that there, but that spin pound does seem to be a little bit more consistent, something that you're able to do to kind of not have to worry about getting your triple jump eaten, for example.
Yeah. Alright, so Lily now in Goomba Room. TYRN making his way through the Seaside Kingdom. Haven't seen any issues from him so far as he goes into the water to catch this Cheep Cheep.
And it used to be that we would go over towards the beach house before and do the little notes timer challenge, getting all of the notes using a rocket flower refresh, but with the discovery of the fish clip, we're actually rerouting Seaside, and we're going to be coming and getting a fish immediately after that little 2.5D area, I guess you could call it.
Yep.
And the fish clip has been known about for a handful of months now, but very, very easy trick to do if you're a beginner to this game, you're looking to break the game in an easy way. This is definitely the first thing you should try.
Yeah, definitely. Alright. And also, kind of glossed over the fact that it cut out the Notes Moon. I hated the Notes Moon personally, so the fish clip was a win-win because it saved time and it cut out like my least favorite moon in the game. So, you know, there's that as well. But Tyrone now coming up to the fish clip as I speak, while Lily goes for Snowdram. So we got two tricks going on at the same time right now.
Excellent fish clip from Tyrone.
Yep. Alright. Wow, both runners nailing their respective tricks. So Tyrone able to stay out of bounds during that movement, and Lily getting Snowdram on the first try. No issues there. Nice.
And leaving Seaside just as Lily is leaving Snow Kingdom. So we're looking at a difference of about 3 minutes. Just over 3 minutes between the two.
Yep.
So Lily definitely has their work cut out for them if they want to kind of pull this back in their favor. Could still potentially score some points if Tyrone makes some sloppy mistakes and Lily plays consistent through the rest of the game, but it is looking rather bleak at this moment.
Yeah. Of course, you know, Tyrone was kind of infamous before he had to Bauer for chokes in Bowser's. So, you know, that's late in the game. He could still make some mistakes there. There's still around 20 minutes of gameplay left. Of course, it's not over, but it would have to take a lot of major mistakes for Lily to come back here. Maybe just try to get the most points she can. Taking a bonk on the movement up to the first moon.
And if you've messed up that movement, it can be very triggering because you kind of have to figure out some sort of backup to get all the way up again. But making it work, progressing on through. Tyrone, meanwhile, in the Luncheon Kingdom now, doing that salt pile triple, no problems here. Progressing through and fighting Spewart.
Yep. Alright. That roll cancel strat into the Spirit Arena, very stylish. And also that extremely fast first Spirit hit. Tyrone showing off his speedy nature right now. Messing up that second Spirit hit a little bit, but that's not too big of a deal.
Still looking very good. Very strong performance by Tyrone still.
Yep. Right, making his way through the Luncheon Kingdom. Finishing off the Spirit fight. Lily now in the fish section of Seaside, grabbing this chest moon over here. They're gonna be going for a couple moons and then attempting the fish clip for herself.
And now Tyrone entering the thick of Luncheon Kingdom. If Wooded Kingdom is the bane of the early game, Luncheon Kingdom is the bane of the late game. So
Definitely.
after this little sub area here, nothing to really report here. We're just gonna pop in, grab a quick moon that's hidden in behind here, and then pop back out. But this is where the fun of Luncheon really does begin. So this kingdom, not necessarily the most difficult kingdom, I would say, in the entire game. However, it's very easy to lose 1 second here, 2 seconds here, 1 second over there, a couple seconds over here. And, you know, you might be looking at the top runners and trying to play this kingdom, and you might be saying, it looks exactly the same. I don't understand how I'm losing 20 seconds. That's just how Luncheon Kingdom is. It's just every little thing has, like, an optimization that you just kind of, like, have to take into account.
Right,
So,
like... Yeah, exactly. Like Tyrone with that movement up to the crates moon there, skipping a cap throw against the wall, which might not seem like a lot, but you know, that's just another one of those minor things. Also doing this bonk here instead of jumping into this moon to get as low as possible to the ground for the backflip. There's so many small strats like that. Everything has a purpose in Luncheon Kingdom.
now, it's actually been noted that the most optimal thing you can do grabbing that pot moon is grabbing the moon when it's hitbox, or like at the highest point of its hitbox, and instead of doing a backflip, being already high enough to jump over the pot already. But that is a very hard thing to time, so usually what you'll see is these guys do an optimal bonk instead.
Yep. Right, now we see Tyrone going into Forks Room. This sub-area can cause a lot of runner frustration and death. But looks like he's going through it fine enough, getting that cap throw. Very nice forks from Tyrone, no issues there.
Seeing him dive into all of his captures, you know, the closer Mario is to the capture, the less distance he has to travel in that little animation where he enters the capture. So Obviously looking to do that the entire fork stream. If you do it every single time in the fork stream, you can save almost an entire second. So it just going into that hole, it's what you do because it's got to be the most optimal type of thing.
Yeah, now we see TYRN trying to jump straight up to this moon. Very nice. Ooh, Lily having some issues making their way up to the first moon, but doing a nice backup there. Totally lost only a couple seconds at most, didn't take a bonk, no damage. Realizing that they weren't gonna make it, so they were able to back it up very nicely.
And Tyrone pulling that lever. Now, turnip clip used to be a 1.0 exclusive trick. Obviously don't have that to our advantage anymore, so you do have to rely on breaking open the cheese rocks, which can seem kind of RNG where these pans are flying and what direction they're going, so it can be a little bit frustrating to deal with. Tyrone not having the greatest luck there, but still holding on to a very substantial lead.
Yep. Alright. So now Tyrone making his way through the last bit of luncheon after this cheese moon. Going to be grabbing one more moon after this torch moon behind the mountain, and then make his way up to the meat multi-moon to finish up the kingdom. Having a little bit of issues grabbing the behind the mountain moon, but nothing major. Now just doing some quick movement, pretty precise movement, back up to this meat moon. Very nice. Alright, Tyrone now finishing up the Luncheon Kingdom, as Lily is just entering the most exciting part, so we might actually have gameplay to commentate over throughout the entirety of Tyrone's Ruin.
That is true.
Really nice, so we don't have to worry about any ruined trash talk shenanigans unless you have something planned.
Nothing in particular, thankfully. Yes, you're right. We do see a difference of about three and a half minutes between the two. That's about how long Ruined is. So we are going to be able to watch Lily complete Luncheon Kingdom as Tyrone enters the Resident Sleeper portion of the run.
Yep. Ruined Kingdom might look cool like the first time you watch it, but as a speedrunner, once you've done it like tens or hundreds of times, it's just really boring. There's not a lot of strats, there's just some damage boosting and that's about it. Alright. So now we are seeing Lily grabbing this Potts moon, and then gonna be grabbing one more moon, and then I'm interested to see what strat she goes for here. It looks like she has to be setting up for the camera manip. So slightly less optimal than the camera manipless strat that Tyrone did. Basically manipulating the camera so that the Podoboo spawns later, so it's easier to capture. And what Tyrone did at that point was skip the camera manip and just do his movement fast enough so that he could make it to the Podoboo on time without having to do any manip.
And obviously, if you're moving faster to that spot in general, it is going to just be faster. But the camera manip was a way that we kind of
During the Dark Side Finals.
Who won?
Stravos.
Alright, it does appear that we are back, ready for action.
Alright, guess we're back. We did skip pretty much the entirety of Tyrone's Ruin, so that's gonna be a pog from me. So now Lily gonna be finishing up Luncheon as well. Gonna have to grab 2 more moons. Technically 4, since one of them is a multi-moon. But, ooh, almost fallen into the lava there. That would have been really bad. And now just making their way up to the meat multi-moon. Scaring me a bit with that, yeah. But all in all, pretty solid Luncheon from Lily. I didn't see any real big mistakes there.
Yeah, it's looking to be just fine. Keeping pace to Tyrone decently enough.
Yep.
And they're going to be about one Ruined Kingdom away from one another here.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like TYRN is still on like 101-ish pace, maybe 100 with that ruined exits as he makes his way into BM, Bowser's Moon, which are the last two kingdoms in the game. And they both, well, Bowser's mainly has a lot of pretty difficult strats. So we could see a bit of mistakes from TYRN here to potentially make this race a little bit closer. As we see here climbing up to this first pylon over here. Very nice movement from TYRN.
Using just the very corner of that green roof to kind of jump up the side of that one platform and get up very, very quickly. Speedy movement here from TYRN.
Yeah. Alright. So, finishing up the first story moon in Bowser's, grabbing this Ogre Moon, he's going to be entering Shards next. Shards has a couple of strats that are pretty difficult, mainly the dive back second shard strat, where you do a triple jump and then throw Cappy at the shard and attempt to dive back onto the platform where you came from while getting Cappy to grab the shard simultaneously.
That is right. And they're going to be doing that with a triple jump if they decide to go for it. TYRN, the first to approach, of course, going for this first shard with a roll cancel. Triple jump.
Oh, getting the dive back. Very nice. Alright. And make his way through the rest of the shards, grabbing these two shards really quickly from the roof. Capturing this Pokia for the last shard. Making the good bomb cycle. Very nice shards from TYRN.
That roll cancel jump to grab the third one, also very snazzy.
Yep. And the roll cancel jump into the moon. Just doing roll cancels all over the place right now.
Lily showing off some roll cancels of their own. Of course, they are in the ruin section, so it's not a huge deal, but...
Looks like we've got a bit of timer sync right now.
Yeah, Lily's timer just a little bit off here, so we're going to see TYRN freeze for just a moment. But approaching the Bowser Dram strategy, throwing your cap towards the pylon and then diving towards this moon, using a capture warp to get back immediately.
Very nice, nailing that with no issues. Doing the insta-dive strat out of that pylon as well. TYRN holding nothing back throughout this Bowser's Kingdom so far. Going Harriet first as well.
Very nice.
No comment.
Shout out to Harriet first in the chat.
I do coin flip personally, because I don't want to take sides. Feels kind of pointless to me personally, but you know. TYRN doing these first-person Harriet strats as well. Oh, dude, that's... yeah, they got a lot of sporting going on there. Alright.
And welcome back to Global Speedrun Association, where we are witnessing some very speedy boys in action. TYRN is finished up with the boys now.
Okay.
A little bit of shenanigans.
Yeah.
But he is able to bust it open just fine. No
Alright.
problems here.
Yeah, no death, no big issues there, but that's definitely a monkey giggle for me. And TYRN now making his way on the Pokia climb up to the Mecha Brutal fight. Now this is definitely going to be the climax of the Bowser's Kingdom here. Been doing all this movement, fighting all the bunnies, and now they're going to come back with their best creation yet just to try to stop you. But we are able to pretty much cheese the entire fight in a very unintentional way without using any birds as the game intends you to. So here we go. TYRN now entering the fight.
Whoa, Lily going for that dive back strategy there, but not really quite able to get the spacing on the triple jump proper, but that's all right. TYRN, meanwhile, gets the first hit after the climb very successfully, and the second hit, not a big deal. Lily also going for that roll cancel jump strategy to keep the momentum going. Very, very stylish.
Yep. Alright, so as Lily finishes up shards here, we see TYRN setting up for Harry at third, nailing that very nicely. Now this has to set up for target acquire, and then he is done with the Bowser's Kingdom. That setup looks good. Very nice.
Target
good
acquired.
Mech. Yep, target acquired. Very nice mech fight from TYRN here.
Lily going for this
Ooh.
this Bowser Dram strategy, using the railing and a ground pound instead of the spin pound variation there. It's the kind of thing that we see Stravos going for as well, but Stravos uses a kind of scary camera angle, and we see Lily actually going for topper first here. I see.
Alright. No comment once again, but still. Showing both sides here. Both alliances going against each other right now.
Seems that the battle rages on between Harriet and Topper first.
And then, you know, there's always centralists as well. You've got the coin flip gang, you've got people who just literally don't care and choose. But yeah, looks like Lily is Topper first, and sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say.
I was going to say that the 1000 IQ strategy is to ignore both fights altogether and just roll directly through the middle, initiating a wrong warp to the end of the game. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, if that was possible, then yes, of course. And we see TYRN here exiting with 55-45. So if he were to get a 5-14 mood or better, which is definitely in the realm of possibility for him, he would be able to get a 1:00 time here.
Of course, he's got to play extremely tight.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal that like some of the mistakes that we have seen in this run with TYRN are still possible of producing a 1:00 time. Just goes to show how far this game has come as far as movement is concerned.
Yep.
I'm seeing a question in the chat about what these qualifier group stages are all about. So essentially, it is a round robin. They have been placed into groups for this initial stage. The best two will move on after having played each of their respective group's opponents one time. The best two will move on to a playoff round, and the playoff round will determine who moves on into the actual leagues themselves. I think it's the top 5 runners from these qualifying tournaments will move on.
Yes. And TYRN actually taking a bonk there on the way over to Moonskip. And he is too low, so he has to reset up. Still getting the Moonskip though. So
playing it a little bit safe there, but
yeah,
probably a good thing to do in a position like this where we do have a lead of about 3 minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Looks like he lost around like 10 or so seconds to that. So 1:00 is going to be extremely tight now, but he is still definitely on pace for a low 1:01 time.
.101 still very much in the possibility. And so this fight, very much like the Cloud one, you're going to be looking to punch Bowser 3 times off of the platform to finish off the fight. But this time, no need for real manipulations of Bowser in between the phases, because he's just going to be jumping into the middle of the arena. Now, you can technically punch him to a place that would be kind of closer to the platform you want him to go to save very, 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 very minute amounts of time. That's why you see him kind of jumping over to the side like this, so that Bowser kind of hits the fence at a place that's very close to the circle. But aside from that, not really the same kind of time save you would see in the Cloud fight.
We see here Lily setting up for target acquired on the right screen. Oh, it landed. It looked like they were trying to do a variation where they land on the platform there, but missing that spin pound, so having to wait for the Mecha Brutal to run around and waiting for a bird to spawn to climb back up. Oh, taking damage there as well. Okay.
Okay, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh
Oh
no!
no! Gonna be taking
Oh,
another fall
man.
off of the Robo Brutal, but luckily able to capture a Pokio immediately and start the climb back up to the top, having a little bit of trouble with. I'm not really sure what's going on, but it looks like they finally got the ground pound off, and they're going to be finishing the fight. Meanwhile, TYRN is running through the escape sequence now, has finished off Bowser, just has the escape to go. We're going to be seeing him go through the 2D section, doing the 2D skip. And then all that will separate him from the end is the pillars.
Yep. Alright, so approaching the 2D section, as you mentioned here, gonna be attempting a 2D skip strategy to save around 2 seconds. See him jumping up here, very nice, skipping that little section of the 2D. Now making his way up to the pillars room. And it looks like 100 is probably dead at this point.
Yes, doesn't look like we're going to be able to see that this time. Just shy of a 100 time, but a low 101 still very much on the table here.
If he got a 51 pillars, he could do it, which is a thing that is possible. Looks like he is setting up with the fireball early here, trying to be as fast as possible. Having to shoot an extra shot on that early pillar though. But yeah, looking like a low 101 for TYRN here.
Definitely not a time to sneeze at all. Firing the last few fireballs at this final pillar.
Alright.
And on his way.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be close.
He's gonna miss it by just a couple of seconds.
Just a couple seconds, alright. Yeah, that looks like a 101.01, I mean. Yeah, 101.01 for TYRN. That's a nice time.
Extremely commendable from TYRN, and you have to realize this run had a death in Wooded in it. It also had a number of kind of sloppy mistakes that we don't really expect from TYRN here, so just a little bit of consistency issues with TYRN in this run, but really still coming out with times that, you know, just about anybody else could only dream of having. So an excellent showcase run from TYRN in his first qualifying league race. Going to be taking the victory against Lily here, but Lily still has a chance to nab some points if they're able to execute this Moon Kingdom in the most optimal way.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you point out that 101.01, that's TYRN's first GSA tourney race, and he played that well. Usually, you know, you see the nerves get to people a little more than they did to him. That's extremely commendable for his first race time being a 101.01.
Certainly.
Meanwhile, Lily nailing Moonskip on the first try.
Mooncave skip going off without a hitch. Entering the Bowser fight now.
Alright. Yeah, so trying to execute this Bowser fight, you see leaving Cappy on that hat, going over to Bowser, then calling the hat back to hit Bowser very optimally without having him jump around, wasting precious seconds on our speed run. So we see Lily now just cap throwing and jumping over these middle phase. Bowser tries to be intimidating with that fire, but that fire hitbox is extremely forgiving. You can literally roll over the fire. But yeah, Lily nailing that second fast hat strat there, the second phase fast hat strat I should say. Now going to another middle section, then going to be doing one last fast hat strat and entering the escape section.
And That's all it's going to take to finish off the Bowser fight here. Just one more phase. Gonna be using a damage boost most likely to make this backflip a little bit easier to time.
No, they looks like they took damage a little too late and messed up the strat. I don't think it's possible to do the fast ass strat after you mess it up once, is it? Or is it? Apparently it is.
Apparently it is.
I've heard multiple people say that it's not, so maybe that's just in Cloud.
That could be the case. But finishing up the fight, no problems here. And just the escape to go. Still looking to be... Wait.
TYRN doing the scooter clip through the ground and dying.
I am so confused.
Have you not seen that before?
I have not.
Poggers. Okay, but meanwhile, Lily going into the escape section here, looking like a good 106 pace, a little 106 here.
Now, if they are able to nab a time that is 106.00 or better, then they will be able to scrounge just a point out of this match. But it is going to require essentially an optimal finishing touch on this run. Not looking so good, but we will see just how it goes here. Entering the 2D section.
Alright, going in the 2D section here. Looks like they are setting up for 2D skip. Oh!
A save!
Jeez! Giving me a heart attack there. Look, XD skip.
XD skip for the fans.
Getting that XD skip is very nice. Alright, now going into the pillars room here. Yeah, it looks like 106, or the opportunity to grab points is pretty dead here, but they can still nab a pretty low 106 time here. We could be looking at 106 OX or 1X, depending on how well this pillar room goes.
Yeah, all a matter of time. Just watching Lily finish up the pillar room here. So firing those fireballs. It does look like they're going to get the early first pillar.
Very nice. Alright. Making their way over to the third pillar now. Shooting 5 fireballs straight at that. Looks like one of them got blocked. Having to do another fireball. Now just setting up for this last pillar here. The angle's a little sketchy, but actually not getting blocked by the rocks. Very nice.
And now just have to thrash this final block away. Not taking any damage there. Busting open the pillar. Looking to be probably a 106.11 if my numbers are correct here.
Yeah,
just a 12.
That looks like either an 11 or a 12. It was kind of close, but yeah, very nice performance either way.
Obviously, a lot of spaghetti throughout both of these runners' runs. Tyrone might have taken a death in the Wooded Kingdom, but Lily actually had to take a near dive into the deep woods twice, going for the rock clip, and just a bunch of just crazy shenanigans. The fact that Lily actually continued to go for that rock clip is very commendable, but in the end, obviously lost them too much time to really consider coming back in this one.
Yep. So yeah, Tyrone definitely with a very nice first race there. But yeah,
we're gonna be.
Oh, you wanna?
We're gonna be calling. Yeah, we're going to be
Alright.
calling in these runners for a little bit of an interview. Let us start with you, Lily. So, Lily, first kind of performance back, first run back from Super Mario Odyssey in quite a long time. How did you feel as this particular race went?
Bad.
very descriptive.
The articulation is very strong. I do admire the detail.
Wow.
So I do have to ask you exactly like what was your thought process in Wooded, because I think that the safe idea, maybe the consistent idea, is holy crap, I just missed this this out of bounds movement. I should probably just go for the regular, like the old school route and play it safe. So what was it that kind of enticed you to not only do the rock clip route one more time, but also 2 more times?
So, I kind of like started panicking, like my hands were shaking, and I don't really remember the old route. So, I probably could have done it, but I was just like, no, I gotta do it for the fans. I gotta do rock clip.
I mean, yeah, you did nail the first one really fast, and I was really surprised. And the fact that you got 2 rock clips that quickly, either way, that was still really impressive to watch.
Yes, and very entertaining run, regardless of the outcome here. Obviously, you say doing it for the fans. We did catch that XD skip at the very end as well. So, shout outs to you for putting on an entertaining race. Your time here is actually not going to earn you any points in this qualifying
Yeah,
round,
no.
unfortunately, but you do have a chance to redeem yourself. You could still make it on into the qualifying tournament stage with some victories against your other opponents. So, good luck in the future. And now I guess we'll move on to TYRN. So TYRN, this is actually your very first showing in any sort of competitive Super Mario Odyssey any percent Global Speedrun Association at all. So this is a very, very strong showing for your first outing. So how do you feel?
Okay, so I feel pretty bad about this one. I really didn't enjoy it. So basically 1-0 was still alive in Moon, but I kinda got fucked. Hacked
Heck,
by Moonskip, I don't know, hacked.
heck,
Completely
yeah.
hacked.
Yeah, it looked like you lost around 10
Um,
seconds to that. That was a little unfortunate.
Yeah, 11. So, Wooded, what happened in the roll cancel thing?
Yeah.
I was a little bit curious about that. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
basically, you guys know when you get input drops while doing rolls, and you get delayed rolls, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Really go triple roll, roll cancel jump.
Okay.
Was so close to the edge, it just got like destroyed by the video game.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah. So without that death in Wooded, easy. Even so, yeah. Basically, 9 Metro, Wooded, and Moon. Yeah, this would have been even a sub hour without those mistakes.
Dang.
Yeah. Bowser was pretty good, except which I don't know what the heck happened. I think I dropped some inputs during the spin pound. I don't know. Pretty weird stuff. I guess it was fine for first run.
Yeah, GG, dude.
It
Yeah.
is maybe
too,
not
man.
your best performance, and obviously we noticed
No.
some sloppiness in the consistency.
Well,
But that being said, a win is a win, and we're gonna take the win, I think. And you're obviously sitting in a pretty solid position going up against your next opponents in this preliminary group stage. So congratulations on your victory. You will be taking the full
Thanks.
90 points as a result of
Wow.
that. We
Very
do
solid.
we do have some more YouTube. We do have some more Super Mario Odyssey qualifying stages coming up your way directly after this. I believe the matchup is between Okra and Pain Pita, so be sure to stick around for that. If you guys are interested in checking out some of the matches you might have missed, !YT in the chat to check out the YouTube channel and get some more information and some more runs on your feed, on your screen. Don't type !schedule as well if you want to learn what is coming up, and you can type !Twitter to find more information on Twitter. Follow Global Speedrun Association and catch all of the action on there as well, and stay up to date, which is of course very important. So thank you guys for joining us. We will be back after a short intermission. GG's to both of our runners, and we will see you next time.
Yep.